What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Gaming in Circles discussion. I'm Jeffrey. I'm joined by Kevin, and today we're going over Kevin's predictions for the EA Play conference and the Sony PS5 conference. So, we're going to get this thing started with the EA Play predictions. Kevin, if you want to lead it off. We're only going over
Oh,
Kevin's
definitely.
predictions because I already did my own video. You can check that out on
Okay.
YouTube. But yeah, let's get started. What is your
Oh,
first prediction?
definitely. My first prediction off the bat, obviously, with EA, they got to start with their bread and butter. In my opinion, is the sports games.
Mm,
So obviously, we're gonna have FIFA 21, Madden 21. I know that they took a break from NBA Live this year. Or was it
yeah,
this
yeah, this
last year? I
year.
guess this
Yeah.
year they took a break. I know they're waiting for next gen, so we're definitely gonna see some NBA Live like 21 on that new engine. Hopefully, like they've progressed more with that. And yeah, definitely some NHL 21. I know there's like a market for that. I never personally played one of the NHL games, but I know they keep pumping them out, so they make money off it somehow.
Yeah.
So there's
So
definitely a market for
yeah,
that.
because I know we've already seen like Madden. Well, it was more of a CGI thing during the Xbox thing. During the
Oh
Xbox,
yeah,
yeah, the what was it called? The Inside Xbox
it,
in May. Yeah.
it's an Xbox where they showed some couple sneak peeks, some couple gameplays for what's running on the Xbox One Series X.
Now,
So
what's interesting to me, considering the fact that EA marketed Madden at the Inside Xbox in May, and this brings me to along to the marketing rights for FIFA. They didn't bring that at the Inside Xbox thing. Do you think the marketing rights are gonna go finally to Sony this time?
I don't know. That is a good question. I know like that's always been like that staple for Xbox. Every time every E3 or every time they did like a sort of press conference to demonstrate what upcoming games they have for their system, FIFA was always on top of one of always on top of their list in regards to like letting fans know like, hey, come over to Xbox. Even we have these FIFA exclusive, DLCs, exclusivity
Yeah, the Ultimate
with
Team
certain things
packs
and that
and
partnership.
and stuff like that. Because it's so funny because like during E3, they always showcase FIFA, and then sometimes they even bring out soccer players. Like, and
Oh yeah,
they spend too much time on FIFA.
yeah. Oh, what year was it when they spent like a good amount? Like it was like was it? I don't know if it was
I think
EA where they were showing that like they're like with Xbox, but or vice versa, like Xbox is showing like FIFA,
I
but they showed it for like a minute.
I think
Maybe
it
it was
might have
EA.
been. Well, I know for a fact that at one of Xbox's E3s, they brought out. I forgot who they brought out. It might have been Pele or Thierry Henry, but they were talking for about like 10, 12 minutes about FIFA. Probably like it had to be because it felt
Yeah, I know it
so.
was a good minute.
Yeah. So moving on to NBA Live. Now they said they were taking a year off. Do you have confidence that it's actually gonna be good this year?
I hope, like, cause honestly, like, with what we like, I mean, we played NBA Live 18, and we played NBA Live 19, and we saw like a progression from 18 to 19. Like it wasn't a huge progression in gameplay, but we saw how the controls felt more smoother and tighter, and and it felt like like a basketball game.
Yeah.
But I don't know from what we hear, they don't really get a big budget with their games, and they've been running the same engine for a while. So
Yeah, that's what I heard for the budgets too. Um, my thing is what basically everyone else's is that the graphics aren't up to par to 2K and the animations just flat out aren't good when you compare them to 2K. And I feel like if they make improvements in those two areas, they could be serious competition again. Honestly, because they're doing well with mixing the culture with basketball better than 2K in my opinion, because you have the game modes where you can put like celebrities, musicians, YouTubers on your team, and when you're not playing NBA games and you're playing like the street ball games and stuff, it's always fun to have non NBA players in there also.
for sure, yeah, it kind of since EA stopped doing the street variety type games for their sports games. So yeah, it is a breath of fresh air, like kind of seeing that you can play with Nav for some reason, or even though he's like it's a little cartoony. He's like what, like 5'8" and he's dunking.
Yeah,
Like it's
he's
a
pretty
little
buff.
weird. But you gotta take it as it is, and it's fun. It's funny. It's fun. It gives that that sense of excitement. Like you're playing something kind of a little different compared to 2K. How you know I always give I always appreciated NBA Live for not for staying in the realm of like realism, but not taking itself so serious when it comes to like obviously like it's kind of ridiculous trying to make 3 pointers with certain players and stuff like that. But it's in that thin line between like realism and then a little bit of like cartooniness. Like it doesn't take itself too serious.
Yeah,
So I always appreciated that. It's like an arcade basketball game, which I like. It's still realism in it, but again, it's like a pick up and play. Like with 2K, like obviously I try to pick it up. I was very bad at it. I didn't understand like there's like technicality to it where depending on how you release the ball, like it really like you really have to have perfect timing. Even if you're in the yellow, you can still miss.
yeah,
Like so, I just like the arcadiness of NBA Live, and I hope so. I hope they do see that there is a market for that. Like I said, in between, like not too realistic, but not too serious either. Like kind of in the middle. Like a Need for
yeah,
Speed. A Need for Speed is perfect example with Need for Speed.
yeah,
it's realistic. It's realism, but it's like cartoony in a way, like where it's like kind of exaggerated.
yeah. For real. Like
It's not. Yeah,
yeah, I'm hoping they sort of stick with that lane themselves. I know once the graphics and animations get better, it'll probably turn into more of like a hardcore sim. There's still a sim now, but
yeah,
you know, it because with NBA Live and 2K, since they're both different games, they're gonna have different feels to it. So one might prefer the feel of how 2K plays over NBA Live and vice versa. So we'll see about that. So moving on to your second prediction, what do you have?
moving on to number two. My second prediction definitely has to be like I don't know if it's gonna be like more likely a teaser for Star Wars Fallen Order number 2 or whatever they decide to call it. Definitely because Respawn Entertainment, they knocked it out the park with the original game. Definitely, and I want more of it. I'm pretty sure everyone wants more of it. It sold pretty well, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for another game. I don't know how they're going to continue with the story because it is a Metroidvania type style game. And how are they going to explain when he loses his powers? Like
Yeah.
he just forgets how to double jump? Does he forget how to use the force again? I mean, Obviously, there's ways to counteract that. It could just be like, he's just not super strong. He hasn't used it in a while. He's been doing other things, and he has to meditate more or what have you. But definitely, I'm pretty sure they have to show at least a teaser for it.
Yeah, because I know. So I want one too. I really enjoyed this story and how it was still fun and it's still they made it canon, and I like how it's connected. Um, that would be interesting to see a teaser trailer. I know it would be sort of early, but at the same time, I think they're gonna want to work on it quickly because of that Star Wars EA deal, because it runs out in
Mm.
2023, I believe, and I think they're gonna want to go ahead and fast track the sequel so that way it can be out before the deal is up. Yeah. Um,
Have they renegotiated on that, or is it still that 2023 where like Disney gets the rights back?
I don't think they renegotiated yet. I think it's still too early for them to renegotiate. They'll probably end up renegotiating probably like end of 2021, starting 2022. Mainly for the fact that the EA wants to put out some more quality Star Wars games. You know, a lot of people dog on them because they said, "Oh, Fallen Order was the only good Star Wars game," but Battlefront 2 had a good comeback story. And then when you're talking business deals and stuff like that, even though no one pays attention to the mobile games, their mobile games make a lot of money from what people are saying. So Disney's probably
The
still
microtransactions.
satisfied, yeah, with EA's output when it comes to Star Wars games. I just think they want some more. They at least want one or two more quality single player Star Wars games before the renegotiations start.
I feel like just to kind of go back to like I guess like the contract ending in 2023, and it is a little bit too early for a Fallen Order 2, but kind of like what you're saying, EA kind of has that bad rep with Star Wars games, and they, like you were saying, they did come, that comeback story with Battlefront 2, with that whole backlash, with the loot boxes, with the loot crates, and the microtransactions, and how they literally made that game pay to win with
Yeah,
the star cards and all that, and they went ahead and turned it around. But I feel like they need to get this game out as soon as possible because I really think that knowing Disney as a company, they want those rights back.
oh yeah, and
Like
yeah, I think we'll see if the how the rights thing will turn out. I know I'm hoping, and other people are hoping, Disney sort of manages the Star Wars game IP, sort of like how Marvel games do it, where instead of giving all the rights to one publisher, they own everything, but they
they
just lend it
license.
out and license it to certain developers. So I'm hoping they do that, but we'll just have to see um, how everything shakes out. So yeah, let's move on to prediction number three.
All right, my prediction number three. It definitely has to be a Battlefield 6
Mm.
because I think like even though there are articles out there saying that Battlefield 5 kind of has that same backlash, just like Battlefront 2, like, oh, it's kind of having that redemption story
Yeah.
coming back. People are playing it more, but I feel like it's like that game came out and everyone just, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like people just forgot about
Yeah,
it.
it came and
Like
went,
this, it just
basically.
came and went. It came and went exactly. And what came with Battlefront 5? Was it World War II? Was that is it
Battlefield
Battlefront 5
5
2 year old
was,
game?
yeah, 2 years.
Let
So yeah, I think
me
it was World War II because I think everyone was talking about how they both went. um, back.
To the
Yeah,
yeah to
back in the past, because I remember before Battlefield did Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 and then Call of Duty World War II, it was like all that future tech stuff. So I think everyone was talking about how they
yeah
went back to the past again. So, but I
yeah.
want to
I
know.
pulled it up here while we were talking. Yeah, it initially released September 4th, 2018. So
Mm,
yeah, so it's roughly almost 2 years old. And for that, from like basically last year, I haven't seen any one of my friends list on PlayStation play it or buy it at all. They just completely skipped over it.
cause
And again, I'm not saying that there isn't play if you play it, but I mean, I have like a decent amount of friends, and I have other people, and I haven't seen one person play it.
I think the thing that hurt it was it came out in the middle of the hype for Battle Royale, so they wanted to
Oh
hop on
yeah,
that train, but I felt like it was too late. And I don't know if you had read up on it during the game's like release, but um, they were having trouble with their battle royale mode, and I believe they
oh
delayed it,
yeah, the
and
Firestorm.
yeah,
Yeah, they delayed it.
and it was looking rough in my opinion, and it wasn't even that many players. It was only gonna be like around 64, I believe, and then
Yeah, 64 if I
and
remember.
yeah, and then in the trailer they were trying to show off building like trying to be like Fortnite, and it's just like, what are you doing? Just it's too late. It
Yeah,
doesn't look fresh. Just scrap it and then focus on the multiplayer, their strength. But I want
but
to know.
what happened?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No, because I was just wanting to know what you think Battlefield 6 needs to do to improve and to actually
Oh,
stand out.
perfect. This is very simple. Very simple. With the success of Modern Warfare, they just need to bring it back to modern times.
Mm,
Very simple. Bring it back to modern times. Bring in modern guns. Bring in the plane. Bring in the helicopters. Bring in the jets. Bring in the tanks, and you're gonna win people back because Dice Dice never had an issue in the gameplay department at all. Never.
mm,
Gameplay is always fluid. Gameplay is always nice. Network issues, rubber banding, that they're not too keen on that. They're working on it, but gameplay wise, that's not nothing they need to worry about. But yeah, to basically win everyone back, definitely just hit the modern times. Easy. It'll sell like hotcakes again. Just like
mm.
Battlefield 4, just like Battlefield 3, it'll sell good again.
Yeah, so like last thing I want to point out. So you had mentioned bringing it back to modern times. Do you think that's more of a factor of people wanted World War II in the World War era, but they get tired of it quickly, or is it just needs something fresh again?
I think exactly what it is. I think I think it's hard to cater to a fan base because you can still shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the thing what happened with Battlefield in particular, they went, they stayed in the past for two games.
Yeah.
Battlefield 1, which was World War One, and then Battlefield 5, which was World War Two. Activision and Call of Duty, on the other hand, only went back to the past once, which was World War Two.
Mm. Yeah, and I
And
think
then that was something that people wanted at that time.
yeah, cuz I think
Because if I remember correctly, go ahead.
yeah, I think those cuz I don't I think all right, so Battlefield having both the games back to back, I think that hurt it. Plus, the Call of Duty World War II game hurt it also because you're having three World War games in 2 years, and a lot of people will play Call of
Mm-hmm.
Duty and Battlefield. So I think since Call of Duty went back to modern first, I think that's why it did so well because people were just tired of everything being World War again. Yeah.
I, I also feel that another reason why Battlefield 5 sort of failed, I mean, it probably, I feel like not failed, but it underperformed.
Yeah.
Reason because is that going from Battlefield 1 to Battlefield 5, which I could attest because I played Battlefield 1 a lot and I played Battlefield 5 through EA Access. The difference between Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 is this, it's not really big. The only difference is that battle like literally the like specific guns. Battlefield 1 was very semi-automatic, and they for some reason they had some automatic guns in Battlefield 1, and then Battlefield 5 still type still type of still same environment, still time period, still it felt like they just literally copied and pasted Battlefield 1 but different guns. Obviously they tweaked things. Obviously they tweaked how the squads work, stuff like that, UI. But it really felt like a carbon copy because they still had semi-automatic rifles in Battlefield 5,
Yeah.
but more automatic weapons with the changing times. So I think it felt like there's like I know there's this thing. Obviously, the Call of Duty cycle, like it's all the same. The game every year. Yes, we know that, but at least the guns feel different. And like, cause obviously, the core gameplay with shooters is the guns, how
Yeah.
they feel. And I feel like personally, I feel like that's where they dropped the ball. The guns felt similar to Battlefield 1 to Battlefield 5 because of the aesthetic as well. The aesthetic, the way they kind of felt, it's like it was an expansion. Like Battlefield 5 could have been an expansion for Battlefield 1,
Yeah.
like World War II. They literally like how they did with Bad Company 2. They did Bad Company 2 Vietnam, which was an expansion.
Oh yeah.
They literally could have done that, and they could have. I think they would have sold pretty good
Yeah. I
if they
think
kept that. Like if they kept the Battlefield 1 like kind of like support.
yeah, it would have been better off for them for sure. But yeah, let's move on to the next prediction.
All right, my fourth prediction. It's a little it's not a little out the realm, but with the recent announcement with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, I feel like this would be a perfect time for a Skate 4
Hmm.
or a new Skate, what have you. Because there is that again with that announcement, everyone was head over heels when Tony Hawk tweeted on his birthday on Twitter that Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 are being remade, like that nostalgia, same controls but updated graphics. Definitely, it's gonna and Activision's been on that kind of that remaster, remake, train.
Yeah.
They're going through their old IPs and they're seeing what they could do to like make a dollar.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect time for EA to go and kind of go up, look at the cost catalog and say, huh, maybe we should do another skate.
Yeah. I know. I know. Like people are hungry for another skateboarding game, and it would be so funny if EA remastered Skate or made another Skate because it would have a similar output to when EA and Activision both did Rock Band and Guitar Hero again because they both released them at the
Yeah,
same time again. So I think it would be interesting if they did Skate, like I was saying for NBA Live, how they like mixing in the culture and stuff. I think it'd be real interesting if Skate did sort of the same thing. We've seen people like rappers like Lil Wayne and Tyler the Creator, skateboard and stuff. I think it would be interesting to have them as characters. They were in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. Not a lot of people played that, but if they
for
can
sure.
get other people besides like the pro skaters to be characters in the game, and then they can get like the music tracks, graffiti artists, have probably even have like create your graffiti art and plaster it around like the skate park. So I think it would be really interesting if they did sort of that route, so they can be differentiated um, between the Tony Hawk games.
piggybacking off what you're saying, that is a perfect idea. And kind of going off of NBA Live, you know what they could do for skate? You
What?
know how NBA Live had like women's basketball?
Yeah.
What if skate did BMX as like a side
Mm,
as like a another thing also, because skating and BMX kind of go hand in hand together. They both have that same culture, and there's very popular BMX riders also. And you can also put like certain you can put certain people, famous celebrities in there as well.
yeah, that'd be so cool. You
So
know, not only do you get to do the skating, you'd be able to do like the bicycle tricks and riding on the bicycle. It would be so taking it another notch further. What if they even had stuff like you can use scooters and stuff like that? Like just being able
ah,
to use, anything like skateboards, scooters, bikes, them
oh,
weird
that'd be cool.
little,
Even rollerblades,
yeah,
like that'll be
rollerblades,
like
like being able to differentiate themselves in that aspect. I think people would favor going to skate over Tony Hawk if they did that.
yeah, for sure, the variety. And like they can still do it similar with similar controls, but like I like in order for them to execute that good and like great, they have to make sure they put the time in for each like each type of you know I was gonna say vehicle, that's not true, but each type of like each type of thing, like skateboarding.
Yeah,
Then you have like inline skating. Then you have a BMX bike, and
yeah,
then you have like like a scooter. Like keep it all the same, but give it the attention to detail where it's different. It's not going to feel the same rollerblading as it is with a scooter,
yeah,
or it's not going to feel the same skateboarding with a BMX bike.
yeah. And I think that would be a nice game to have, and it would be if they managed to do all that and surprise us with another skate. I think it would probably be the game of the show, the game of the presentation, and I would take it up another step further, and it'd probably be one of the top games of all out of all these summer announcements.
Oh yeah, because it's been quite a while since EA has given audiences that skate game. It's been like what? I would say like maybe let me actually just look it up real fast. Just to see how long they haven't even like made that
Yeah, because
like since
I would want to say because they did
let's
Skate
see.
3 was the last one, and that I just want to throw a guess, probably like 2010, probably maybe even
Let me
2011.
see here.
Like
Um,
because if they started out in that 360 PS3 generation,
yeah, 2010. That
yeah,
was the last time. That's literally a decade ago.
yeah,
A decade ago, roughly.
yeah. So it would be
Actually,
nice to
a,
have,
a decade exactly.
huh?
It didn't come out. The Skate 3 was released May 11th, 2010.
Oh
So it's
wow,
been a decade
yeah,
since
that
they made a skate game, and this would be a perfect time.
yeah, definitely with a lot of changes, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into your last prediction.
All right, last prediction for EA for me. I kind of thought about it a little bit, and I feel like what would really kind of not steal the show, but kind of have people like get up off their seats if they, obviously there's that rumor about that Mass Effect 1 remaster,
Hmm.
but what if they just revamped Mass Effect?
Hmm. Sort of like a reboot
Like,
entirely.
yeah, sort of like a reboot, because we saw what happened with Andromeda. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of the core fan base did not like it.
Yeah. Because
And,
yeah, that
and that's
was the main
partially
thing.
due to the original team not being there,
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
I believe so. Andromeda is a game I didn't play at all. Like I didn't play any Mass Effect game. I did try Andromeda because of EA Access, but I it was probably
Hmm.
like 30 minutes max. I wasn't the fan of it. I wasn't a fan of it, so I went ahead and stopped playing it. My thing is with the new Mass Effect, it's a reboot, but would it be sort of like God of War, where it's like sort of like a soft reboot, where they find a way to connect it still, but it's entirely different, or do they say, all right, we're leaving what's the name, Shepard and everything
Captain Shepard.
behind,
Yep.
yeah, and just like
So,
completely starting from scratch.
so here's the thing: if they want to reel back the original, the original audience, the audience that fell in love with this, the audience that made, this trilogy. I mean, I don't count Andromeda as, again, I'm pretty sure it was the original fan base that made it a trilogy. It kept buying. They could go two ways.
Yeah,
They could either do the God of War soft reboot, where it's a long period of time, but they acknowledge the original three games.
yeah.
They acknowledge that it is in, like, there is, that happened. It's canon.
Mm,
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Like the original trilogy was canon Andromeda, but it just happened obviously in a different galaxy. But how about if they, they kept all that the same, and a new threat arrives, and I'm
mm,
pretty sure they're able to, keep those three games canon, or even like pick out characters specifically, like, how, like what they did with the new God of War. They could have characters from the original trilogy kind of come back in a way where, you know that acknowledges the other games. Like,
yeah,
they don't have to be like, oh, this is Mass Effect 4, a sequel to whatever. They could subtly do it like how God of War did and make it a soft reboot and really kind of bring it back to its roots, because a lot of people really enjoyed Mass Effect 1 and 2 a lot because of the RPG elements.
yeah. And my
And
thing
so I
is, um, so with Mass Effect, so we know they've had troubles with Andromeda. It wasn't well received. Anthem wasn't well received either. Do you think this is like the last chance for that team in that studio?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, with BioWare, I mean, BioWare doesn't BioWare make Dragon Age also?
I think so. Yeah.
So they're not officially done, and I know they're working on a Dragon Age. I just didn't put that on my top five predictions because I feel like there hasn't been a bad Dragon Age game.
Yeah.
Even with Inquisition, I played it. I didn't like it, but I played it. It was cool. I enjoyed some of it, but it just wasn't for me. I just didn't like how, like, you spent, well, obviously that's like an early PS4 game,
Yeah.
uh, and so I don't think there's any issue with Dragon. I guess with Dragon Age, they don't have to worry about that. But what you're saying is going back to the original thing. What Mass Effect and like Anthem, they really need to. Like, they might need to stop with space in general if they can't figure out how to do this
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that too. So, capping off this last prediction, do you think with Mass Effect, all right, new game, reboot, or a remaster, or a ground up, when do you think it would come out, or a release date?
So okay, let's say hypothetically, like exactly what you're saying, they announced it, Mass Effect.
Yeah.
I would give it
Hmm.
probably. Let's say hypothetically they've been working on it after Andromeda, after they finished up whatever DLC they did, whatever updates, right?
Yeah.
When did it? Let me just go ahead and make sure so I get like a valid. When did Andromeda come out real fast?
Was it? Uh, was it 2017? I think.
It came out. 2017. So it's been roughly around 3 years.
Okay.
Roughly 3 years since Mass Effect Andromeda. So let's say they stopped updating 2018, mid 2018, or early 2018. So that would have to. So if they announce Mass Effect remake, reboot, whatever, the remake shouldn't be that hard because they should still have those files.
Yeah.
All they have to do is just kind of like they have everything there. They just have to use a different engine. So that shouldn't take too long. But I guess in the respect of like if they're soft rebooting, if they just rebooted it, I would give it probably maybe like earliest late 2021 or early 20 or spring 22.
Yeah,
if they have to if they wanted to push it.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be the same for me if I had to guess. Yeah. So, those were your 5 predictions. Let us know what you think, and you can follow us. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We got Facebook. Check, subscribe. Remember to subscribe at Gaming in Circles on everything. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.